Welcome to another session of Your Thriving Lifestyle. That's the name that I like to call this show. And today I felt inspired to share with all of you just to talk about excuses. And excuses is something that we all face. Excuses are something that anytime we want to do something that feels scary, that is new, that requires something from us, many times we find ourselves finding good reasons not to do it instead of finding reasons to do it. How many people here find themselves finding excuses on a regular basis for things that they don't want to do? Because I am one of them. And I can name so many, okay? Sometimes excuses are good and they are necessary because you are trying to avoid doing something that honestly you don't want to do. But I'm not talking about those kind of excuses, okay? Because that's actually being true to yourself. If you are saying no to something because you just don't want to do it, it doesn't feel aligned, and it's just not right for you right now, that's I wouldn't say that that's an excuse. That's you honoring your own needs and what you want to be doing. I'm talking about the things that you want to do. Deep inside, you want to do something, but that something feels scary. That something it's uncertain. That's something you don't quite know the how to do it yet. Okay? And that's when we find excuses that are not healthy. Excuses that will prevent us from doing the work that we want to be doing. Okay? I just want to take a pause here to let you know, guys, that today here in Canada is a snow day. So what does that mean? That we have a lot of snow, and that's why you are hearing some background noise maybe. There is a snow blower cleaning the snow in my street. And also my daughter Eva, 3-year-old Eva, is here with me. So I figured out a way to keep her entertained. But if she pops in and says hi, or you hear some background noise, that's the reality for me today. And it's funny because I was thinking about excuses to cancel this session. It's like, oh no, I have my daughter here. I cannot do this session with her in the house, blah, blah, blah. But then I question everything. And then I question myself, is this really true? Is there a way for me to do this session still while having her here? And then I just put a movie for her, and she's normally really good at watching a movie by herself. But if it doesn't happen like that, I have to honor what's happening today, okay? and regardless of the noise and my daughter and all the things that I cannot control, I will try my best to do the best I can with this session with you. So this is a clear example of how life sometimes gets on the way. And then we have to make a decision. We can either choose to find excuses not to do something that deep inside we want to do, or we can find ways of making it happen in creative ways. And things don't have to be a specific way. They don't have to be perfect. So I have a list of some excuses. And I was looking at excuses online, and then I found a book by Dr. Wayne Dyer. I love him. I love his work. I love his books. And he has a book that is called Excuses BEGONE. Any of you have read that book? The book is called Excuses BEGONE by Dr. Wayne Dyer. So that book talks about the 18 more used excuses, the more common excuses that majority of the people use. And he also takes it to the next level, and then he includes an affirmation to help you overcome that excuse. So this affirmation is going to help you find a more creative way to confront this situation without finding excuses. So are you guys excited to go through this list? We can cover some of them, and then we can see which ones apply to us. Yeah, it sounds good. Okay, before getting started, let me ask you guys, what excuses do you find yourself using on a regular basis? Please feel free to share in the chat, and I'm gonna read them out. The author of the book is Dr. Wayne Dyer, and the book is called Excuses BEGONE. Okay, so I am too tired. So these are some of the excuses that you guys use. I am too tired, I am too sick, I don't have the time, I am not smart enough, I work all day. I'll do it better if I do it tomorrow. I am afraid I will get sick. I feel crowded. Yeah, some of my own excuses are I'm not good enough. I don't have the money. Someone else is gonna do it better than me. It's too sunny outside. That's a funny one. Okay, it's too much. So some of these are excuses that you guys use on a regular basis. And some of them are on this list. It's not a priority. Another one, good one. I don't understand it, so I can't. Amazing. So that's another excuse, because you don't understand something, you just cannot do it. And you are not willing to explore options or ways to learn how to do it. Amazing. So let's go through the list. So the first one, it will be difficult. Okay? Excuse number one, it will be difficult. This is what sometimes we face. It's gonna be difficult, so I rather don't try. It's gonna be difficult. Most likely I am going to fail. And what happens when I fail? It doesn't feel right. I don't wanna fail. So I'm not gonna even get started. Okay? So what is an affirmation that we can use to overcome this excuse that it will be difficult? Anything comes to mind, guys? I failed before, so I am doing it again. Amazing. I am capable. I am not doing it again. Okay, so the affirmation that when Dyer suggests, okay, Amy says, I have done hard things before. I love it. I can start with the first step. I am resilient. I love what you guys are sharing. Amazing. So the one that he shares is, I have the ability to accomplish any task I set my mind to with ease and comfort. Okay? So the excuse number one, it will be difficult. The affirmation that he recommends is, I have the ability to accomplish any task I set my mind to with ease and comfort. So how do you feel when you read those words? Do you feel empowered to try? Is it as difficult as it was before? Or do you feel that you may find a way to make it happen? Okay? And when it comes to affirmations, just keep in mind that there are many different kinds of affirmations. And the right affirmation for you is the affirmation that when you read it, that affirmation is going to evoke a positive emotion from you. Okay? So it's going to evoke a positive emotion from you, something that you are feeling. So you feel yourself feeling something good. It's not something mental. Okay? Affirmations have to evoke emotion for you. So if the one that he suggests doesn't evoke anything on you, I invite you to change the wording to create a different affirmation that resonates with you. Okay? Okay? So that was the first excuse. Let's go with the second one. It's going to be risky. Okay? It's going to be risky, so I'm not gonna do it. It's going to be risky, so I am going to procrastinate that. Okay? So the affirmation that he recommends for this one, it's being myself involves no risks. It's my ultimate truth and I live it fearlessly. That's the one that he has in the book. Let's brainstorm together. What are some affirmations or some powerful words that we can tell ourselves when we are facing the excuse, it's going to be risky? What comes to mind for you guys? Just try it. If it doesn't give you sweaty palms, it ain't worth it. Anything else comes to mind to tell yourself when you are facing the excuse it's going to be risky? Risk helps you grow. No risk, no gain. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. I am a risk taker. I love it. So you guys are saying that you are learning from that risk. I can expand and learn through risks. Beautiful. Safety gets safety. Risk gets you freedom. Amazing. You can't win if you don't play. Love it, Julia. Yeah, so guys, these are some great sentences, and I invite you to start writing them down, because the goal for this session is I want you guys to become aware of these excuses. Okay, you may be using some of them, you may not, but when you start identifying them, you can then use this wording to speak to yourself in a different way. Okay, and we can all benefit from doing this. I try to do this as often as I can. Sometimes I drop the ball, as always, as we all do. Okay, but what about if I don't have enough money to start my venture? So, Anon, let's get into the questions after. Okay, let me finish the list and then we can go into the specifics after. Okay, are you okay with that? So, excuse number 3. Yeah, this is recorded, Amy. Excuse number 3, it will take a long time. Okay, it will take a long time. I also hear a lot, I don't have the time. So what can we tell ourselves to overcome this excuse? I have infinite patience when it comes to fulfilling my desire, my destiny. So I have infinite patience when it comes to fulfilling my destiny. Okay? So when you are facing yourself, I don't have the time, or it will take a long time, you can tell yourself, I have infinite patience when it comes to fulfilling my destiny. Okay? Excuse number 4. There will be family drama. This is a big one because I think we all have family drama when we speak about specific topics. When you make decisions that maybe may upset them, maybe someone has expectations for you that you are not fulfilling. So sometimes decisions will trigger this excuse. There will be family drama. So what sentence is he recommending to tell yourself when that happens? You can say something like, I would rather be loathed for who I am than loved for who I am not. How does that feel, guys? I would rather be loathed for who I am than loved for who I am not. That's a big one. Okay? There will be family drama. Okay? Excuse number 5. I don't deserve it. I have this one a lot. I don't deserve this. Who am I to get this? Why am I getting this? I'm not good enough. So I don't deserve it. What is the sentence, that the affirmation that he recommends? I am a divine creation, therefore I cannot be underserving. Okay? Again, let's try to come up together with some affirmations, just 2 or 3 for this excuse. I don't deserve it. What can we tell ourselves when we tell ourselves that I don't deserve it, or we feel that way? What comes to mind, guys? Share something in the chat. Something uplifting, something that will make you feel well. Okay, I don't deserve it. So what can we tell ourselves? The book is called Excuses BEGONE by Dr. Dyer. Just a reminder. So you can tell yourself, I am worthy, I am here now. Okay? And again, I know it may be hard to find words when you find these excuses. Universe is infinite and I am a part of it. I love it. I am enough. Okay? I love it. So I will read you the one that he says again. I am a divine creation, a piece of the universe. Therefore, I cannot be underserving. Okay? And this is for the excuse, I don't deserve it. Number 5. Okay? Maya says, when I am happy and fulfilled, I have more to give. Amazing. And that's so true. Thank you so much for sharing, guys. Let's go to the number 6. Excuse number 6. It's not my nature. It's not my nature. The affirmation that he recommends is, my essential nature is perfect and faultless. It is to this nature that I return. Okay? So when you find yourself saying something like, this is not my nature, just tell yourself that your essential nature is perfect and faultless. It's just you are unique and you are perfect the way you are. Excuse number 7. I can't afford it. And someone was talking about this before. I don't have enough money. I can't afford it. So this is the affirmation that he recommends. I am connected to an unlimited source of abundance. Okay? So let's recap. Excuse number 1, it will be difficult. Excuse number 2, it's going to be risky. Excuse number 3, it will take a long time. Excuse number 4, there will be family drama. Excuse number 5, I don't deserve it. Excuse number 6, it's not my nature. And excuse number 7, I can't afford it. Okay? Let's go with the 8th. No one will help me. Excuse number 8, no one will help me. And the sentence that he recommends, the affirmation is, the right circumstances and the right people are already here and will show up on time. How uplifting does that sound to you guys? The right circumstances and the right people are already here and will show up on time. So it's inviting you to trust, it's inviting you to be open, and it's inviting you to relax. Because if you do your best, help is going to come at the right time, because you're going to be ready and you're going to be present to see it. You're going to be present to receive that help. If you are all the time worrying, how present are you going to be to even see the help coming? This is a big one. If you are not grounded with yourself, if you don't allow yourself time to relax and to be open-minded and to be open to receiving, how likely are you to receive help when you are in a state of stress, anxiety, overwhelm, worry? Okay? So just keep that in mind. Excuse number 9. It has never happened before. This is a big one for me too. It has never happened before. So it's not possible. That's a big excuse that sometimes we find ourselves using. So the affirmation that Wayne recommends is, I am willing to attract all that I desire, beginning here and now. I am willing to attract all that I desire, beginning here and now. Okay? Excuse number 10. I am not strong enough. I am not strong enough. This can be physically, this can be emotionally, this can be mentally. Strength can be applied in so many different ways. The affirmation that he recommends is, I have access to unlimited assistance. My strength comes from my connection to my source of being. Okay? Mimi, affirmation number 8 was, the excuse was, no one will help me. And the affirmation was, the right circumstances and the right people are already here and will show up on time. Okay? And all these affirmations and all these excuses are coming from the book Excuses BEGONE by Dr. Wayne Dyer. Okay? Excuse number 11. I am not smart enough. I am not smart enough. What is the affirmation that he recommends using? I am a creation of the divine mind. All is perfect, and I am a genius in my own right. Okay? Again, guys, you don't have to use these specific affirmations. I want you to write them down if you can, and then create the ones that make you feel excited. Create the affirmations that when you read them, those words are going to evoke an emotion, because that's what you want. You want to create an emotion that is positive. that emotion is going to help you overcome the excuse itself and the limiting beliefs that you have been repeating over and over and over for probably years. Okay? So it's with that emotion, is the repetition of these affirmations and you experiencing those emotions that are going to help you start doing something different. Okay? Excuse number 12. I am too old. Or I am not old enough. These go together. Some people feel that they are too old to do a job or to do something or to start something or to become something. And some other people feel that they are not too old enough. They are not old enough. They are not wise enough. They don't have enough experience. Whatever comes to mind if you find yourself using this excuse, I am too old or not old enough. One example that he shares, an affirmation could be, I am an infinite being. The age of my body has no bearing on what I do or who I am. Okay? I am an infinite being. The age of my body has no bearing on what I do or who I am. Okay? Guys, I love kite surfing. Okay, this is an example. I love kite surfing. And I am still learning. It's been a few years, but I don't have access to water here easily. So I went 2.5 hours away. There is a beautiful place called Oliphant. I was there. And then I saw this guy coming. Skinny, like full of life, but very skinny, he seemed pretty old. So he came to me and then he was launching his kite and he asked me, could you please hold me from the back so that I don't fly away when I launch my kite? Okay, so I said, yes, of course I can. So I was holding to a handle that he had in the harness in the back, and then he was launching his kite. And then I asked him like, hey, what's your name? His name was Fred. What? It's Fred. You know how old he is? Guess his age, guys. How old do you think he was? He was kite surfing. He was a huge kite in the water on a board. It's like surfing, but with a kite. 72, 82, 75, 80, more. 85, more. 77. Guys, he 86 years old. 86. 86. So he told me a huge lesson. It's never too late to do whatever you want to do. Okay? Of course, you have to be gentle. You have to understand your body. You have to understand your limitations. But it doesn't mean that you are too old or too young to do something. Okay? Excuse number 13. The rules won't let me. Okay? The rules won't let me. And the affirmation is, I live my life according to divine rules. Okay? I live my life according to divine rules. Okay, let's do 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do the 5 last and then we get into questions, okay? Because I see some questions in the chat. Number 14, it's too big. It's too big. So the affirmation for this one is, I think only about what I can do now. By thinking small, I accomplish great things. Okay? So I think only about what I can do now. By thinking small, I accomplish great things. Number 15, excuse number 15. I don't have the energy. I don't have the energy. And the affirmation for this one is, I feel passionately about my life. And this passion fills me with excitement and energy. Okay? So I feel passionate about my life, and this passion fills me with excitement and energy. Excuse number 16. It's my personal family history. Okay? It's my personal family history, so I cannot change it. And the affirmation for this one is, I live in the present moment by being grateful for all of my life experiences as a child. I live in the present moment by being grateful for all of my life experiences as a child. Number 17. I am too busy. I hear this one a lot, guys. I'm too busy. I cannot do that. I am too busy. Okay? And the affirmation for this one is, as I unclutter my life, I free myself to answer the callings of my soul. Excuse number 17. I am too busy. The affirmation, as I unclutter my life, I free myself to answer the callings of my soul. I love this one, to be honest. And the last one of this list, number 18th, excuse number 18th, I am too scared. I am too scared. And the affirmation is, I can accomplish anything I put my mind to, because I know that I am never alone. Okay? I can accomplish anything I put my mind to, because I know that I am never alone. So this was the list included in the book Excuses BEGONE by Dr. Wayne Dyer. I was doing a little bit of research online and other books, and some of the excuses are very similar to these ones, but what I like from this book is that every excuse has an affirmation. So every excuse has an affirmation to help you overcome them or to invite you to create one that feels good to you. Affirmation 17 was, I am too busy. I am too busy. And the affirmation is, as I unclutter my life, I free myself to answer the callings of my soul. So the excuse is, I am too busy. And the affirmation is, as I unclutter my life, I free myself to answer the callings of my soul. Okay? So guys, what are questions that you have now specifically about excuses in general? Something that we can together brainstorm. Louise Hay brought her first book at 60 years old and her last book at 90 years old. Yeah, that's so true. I love also Louise Hay's work. And if you guys are looking into finding great affirmations or doing mirror work or practicing self-love, I honestly feel that she's the pioneer of that. And I feel that her books are wonderful. And I don't know how I stumbled into one of her books and one of her tapes. When I was probably 14 or 15, I was listening to one of her tapes when I was going to bed. And I remember my parents feeling weird, saying, what are you listening to, Emilio? That's so weird. And then one day I came from the street and I came into the house, into the flat, and I opened my bedroom's room door. And you know who was there? Guess who was laying on the bed listening to the tape? My mom and my dad. Come, hija, you want to say hi? Come.
No, I want something to eat.
You want something to eat?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to bring you some snacks soon, okay? Yeah, so that's a story. That's my daughter asking for snacks, by the way. Maybe she comes and says hi. So guys, I found one... so cute, bonite. So what is a specific question that you guys have? We have 15 minutes left for the session, and I would like to answer any questions that you may have. Any challenges that you may have, let's just share them, and then and let's see if we can brainstorm together to help you overcome them. Okay? Someone was mentioning before that they were trying to start a venture and they didn't have enough money. Practically the money issue. Okay, so guys, what can we tell Anon about money? How can we help Anon overcome the excuse that he doesn't have enough money? Let's just brainstorm together here. Do affirmations really work? Starting a business and working 40 hours a week, money and to all. So let's focus on that question right now. So, for example, what I would recommend you do when it comes to money, Anon, is like, first, because this is what I did when I started my own business, right? I didn't have the money either, and I didn't have security, financial security. So what I did was transition slowly. So I started following my passion, but I still had a job because I didn't want to put a lot of financial pressure on myself to get it done right away. So my excuse of I don't have enough money, or I don't have, it's like, no, I don't have enough money, but I can find money from a regular job in the meantime. And then the affirmation that I have for myself is, I am in the process of creating my job, my dream job, my dream career. I understand that it's not going to happen all at once, so I choose to be grateful for what I have right now. I choose to work with love and with passion in what I'm doing. And on my free time, I am starting to do my own gig. And that's how we started. We started evenings, weekends, and then from there, I started to like work 4 days a week, and then 3 days a week, and then 2 days a week. And how this unfolded, guys, is like, when I was ready, I presented my resignation letter to my boss, thinking that that was the only option I had. And you know what happened? What happened is my boss got the letter, and then he said, wait, Emilio. Can you give me something? Do you need to leave right away, or can we do a transition? I will get whatever you can give me. And then I decided, wow, that's really generous. And I didn't even contemplate that opportunity, that option, right? So he gave me the option to do 4 days a week, and then 3 days a week, and then 2 days a week, and then 1 day a week. And then every Friday I will call him in advance to tell him my availability next week. And then finally I let go of the job. How cool is that? So start thinking about options and don't limit yourself. And remove the financial pressure from the beginning. Don't try to do everything all at once, because that's a lot of pressure if you don't know yet how your career is gonna look like. Okay? What other questions do you guys have? The money affirmation, let me read it for you. So the excuse number 7 was, I can't afford it. Okay, and the come, hija, come here. Papi's gonna give you some nuts. Come here. Come here. Come. I want you to say hi. Yeah, let's say hi. Who is that? Look, Eva, there are, how many people are there? 136 people are there. You wanna say hi? What are you watching?
Toy Story.
Toy Story. And what do you want?
Nuts.
You want some nuts? Okay.
Now I'm going back in my room.
Okay, Papi's gonna give you some nuts. Guys, please brainstorm, while I give her some nuts, please brainstorm ideas about money. What are affirmations that you can share so that money doesn't become the excuse anymore? Okay, I'm right back. I can give you more after. Okay? Thank you. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so look for possible income streams. Money is an energy exchange. Life energy is infinite. Chakra work helps with money blocks. Open your eyes to options. Yes, affirmations work when you work them. Affirmation, my money is going to those things that are in alignment with my values. Okay, there is seldom only one way to do something. Yeah, amazing. Thank you so much, guys, for sharing. And when it comes to money, I have that limiting belief very ingrained in me. I still feel guilty when I don't work 40 hours a week. It feels weird because my nervous system is not used to, because my family never had that. No one believed that that was possible. So now here I am having courses, helping thousands of people, doing these live sessions at my own pace. and doing it with passion and making a living. And it was a 10-year journey, but sometimes those beliefs are ingrained because that's what you were taught. That was the reality. Okay. And that's the other, that's the excuse number 9. It has never happened before. So if something has never happened before, it's normal to believe that it's not possible because you have never seen it. Okay. So in my family, for example, it was normal that to gain money, you have to work 40 hours a week. You need to have a job. And the more you work, the more hours you put in, the more you get paid. That's the belief, right? That's the belief that I always had. So that's why now what I'm doing, it's questioning that belief that is so ingrained in me. And it's making me feel, sometimes I feel guilty. Sometimes I feel that I don't deserve it. Sometimes I feel, who am I to have this life? So, but again, it's your own belief. So you have to understand them, question them, and then start using those affirmations to help you get out of that energy, that belief. Okay? So you should write a business plan. So Sharon says, Emilio, I have several excuses, too difficult. Family drama, no time, too busy, also too sad. When it comes to emptying out and selling my parents' home, it has been 5 years. I cry every time I go there and get overwhelmed. Sharon, I'm really sorry that you are in that situation. 5 years is a really long time. So I know when you are facing several of these situations, life events, and you are in the middle of that chaos, it's normal to feel trapped. It's normal to feel overwhelmed, and it's not easy to get out of it, simplistically speaking, because there are so many things happening, right? But that's why you have to get started somewhere. And I think the first step is to become aware of what's going on, and then to open yourself up to other possibilities, because there are other possibilities. When it comes to emptying apartments, decluttering homes, stuff like that, I can tell you from my own experience that there are a lot of excuses, a lot of stories around that clutter situation. But I can tell you that those are the dynamics that created the clutter that are always there. But as soon as you can change those dynamics, the clutter changes too. And it can happen like this. It's just a change in belief, a change in habits, a change in mindset. And sometimes it's painful because there are a lot of emotions associated with your physical things. But that's an emotional process. That's not a physical clutter process. And you have to identify both. That's why it's important to be aware. Are you facing a physical clutter problem, or are you facing a huge emotional and grieving problem? Because those are two very different ones. And sometimes we connect the two together, and we think that we have to tackle the physical to get rid of the emotional, but that's not true. Sometimes you have to work on the emotional first so that you can feel better, you can have energy, and then you can tackle the physical. So just keep that in mind, that sometimes the excuses apply to physical things, sometimes they apply to emotional things, sometimes they apply to time management things, and sometimes this is something that happened in the last workshop that I did. Okay, some people were having trouble scheduling things, putting things in the calendar, but the problem wasn't the when am I going to do this? The problem was, when we started digging deeper, the problem was that there was a problem with the how. How do I do this? I don't know. So I'm not going to put it in the calendar because I'm going to fail, because it's too risky, because I don't have the time, and then all these excuses will show up. But the true problem wasn't when am I going to be doing this. It was the how am I going to be doing this. So keep in mind that these excuses are going to interact with each other sometimes, and you may have more than one. Okay, so you may need to use some of those affirmations at the same time. Okay, so guys, what's coming up for you after this session? How do you feel? Are you feeling excited? Are you feeling overwhelmed? Are you feeling what are you feeling? And it's okay, whatever you're feeling is fine. I get stuck on I get stuck on the belief that as a woman, I can't do what male colleagues can get away with. Matching the vibration of what I want to who I am. I have to become the person who embodies what I chose to. Amy says, Emilio, I have strong confidence in my work life, but in my personal life, fear runs my choices. Why? Amy, great question. Why do you think that is? Why do you think in your personal life fear runs your choices? And how can you, once you identify the why, how can you change your approach? How can you change what you can control to make the situation different? And what are your possibilities? Are there any possibilities that you haven't thought of? Okay, there is a lot of deep work that is going to come from doing this, guys. When you are facing an excuse, behind that excuse, there is always something deeper. There is always a limiting belief. There is always a dynamic that has been happening for probably a long time. So there is going to be a lot of resistance when you try to change that. Just be aware of that. If you find yourself always saying, I don't know, I am too busy, for example, you have to start questioning about why am I always too busy? Why am I always in a place where I have no control over what I'm doing? And then when you start questioning yourself, a lot of emotions are going to show up, a lot of dynamics are going to show up. And then when you try to confront them, to change them, to try something different, resistance is going to be there. Okay? You are going to face it. And it's going to feel very uncomfortable, very difficult, but you have to push through that. And the way for you to push through that is by repeating the affirmations, reminding yourself that there is another way, being open to trying something different, and just keep trying, and stop feeling that you are failing. Stop that. Don't let that affect you. You are not failing. You are flexing the muscle, okay? Imagine that you go to the gym after COVID, 2 years of doing nothing. Maybe the gyms were closed. Maybe you didn't play your favorite sport. Maybe you couldn't do exercises. Maybe you felt unmotivated. Whatever the reasons, now you are here and you want to go back exercising. Are you going to be able to go back full on, 100%? Or are you going to be gentle with yourself and you're going to ease in? Start slowly and be consistent. And then you start building your muscles, building your stamina, building your breathing. It's the same with this. You are trying to create a new habit. You are trying to overcome an excuse. And it's going to take time and work and consistency. Okay? So I feel excited about the affirmation 17. Thank you. Amazing, Caroline. The 17 is I am too busy. And I think that applies to all of us. Okay. This has been very inspiring. I am glad to hear that, Anon. I hope that these ideas open up some new possibilities for you when it comes to your specific situation. And again, keep this list handy. Go through this list every now and then just question your life. Question, what am I doing? How am I making my decisions? Am I making the decisions in an intentional way? Okay. Cecilia is asking, please read 17 again. 17, excuse 17 is I am too busy. And the affirmation is, as I unclutter my life, I free myself to answer the callings of my soul. Okay, so that's what's in for today's session, guys. If you want to listen to the recording, it will be available shortly today. Okay, I will also, there are always notes. Amy posts amazing notes from the show sometimes that you can find in the circle. The circle here on Inside Timer is called Your Thriving Lifestyle. And if you want to find this show somewhere else, just go to my Inside Timer profile link, and then you will find the recordings and you will find all the information that you need there. Okay. I also have an upcoming workshop about how to live an intentional life. It's a 5-day workshop that you can find all the details on my Inside Timer profile too. Okay. I am so happy to have you here today and all the energy that you guys brought. I would like to transition out. Thank you so much for your donation, Marilyn. I would like to transition out of this session with a few deep breaths and with a little bit of the singing bowl. Would you like that, guys? Would you like to transition out together? Okay, so let's do it. Just sit comfortably. Close your eyes if you can. Don't do it if you are driving, please. Okay, and then focus on the singing bowl and just take a few deep breaths together. And let's just be in silence for just a few seconds. I wish you guys have an amazing rest of your day. Whatever you are doing, do it with intention. And I will be away for the next week and a half or two. I'm going to BC for a family vacation. So I haven't scheduled any events, any sessions those days, but I may last minute if I have the space and the time. Okay? But if you don't see me, just so you know, I am uploading a lot of new tracks on Insight Timer. So you will find a lot of new tracks from me that you can listen to in the meantime. Okay? And you can also take some of my courses on Insight Timer if you wanna, if you don't see live sessions from me, you can do that work instead. Okay? Have an amazing rest of your day, guys. Adios. Adios. Adios.